All right, we've been listening to Josh Earnest, the president's spokesperson, on the big day of President Obama endorsing Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders meeting with President Obama a couple of hours ago. Let's bring back in a new panel now. Deneen Borelli, chief political correspondent at Conservative Review, and Leslie Marshall, syndicated radio talk show host of The Leslie Marshall Show. Both are Fox News contributors. Okay, a lot to digest from what Josh Earnest said here. Deneen, let me start with you. President Obama endorsing Hillary Clinton in this video. He recorded it on Tuesday. He's going to be on the campaign trail with her in Green Bay next Wednesday. Does this help or hurt her?
First of all, I think it's really concerning that he is endorsing Hillary Clinton, who is under an active FBI investigation. And clearly, this is sending a message to the FBI and to anyone who will be involved in this investigation that Obama does not care. And that is one of the reasons why Americans are so frustrated that we can't have any accountability when it comes to these politicians. I find it outrageous, and we'll see what happens. But again, Americans have had it.
Okay, so Leslie, how would you react to that? President Obama, she is the nominee. He would be asked on a daily basis, why are you not endorsing her? Was he in a difficult position?
Well, I think it's been very clear all along that he would endorse her. And I have to say that I really don't think that these endorsements from the president, no offense to him, or even from her husband, a former president who has higher approval ratings than all of them do right now, including our president, that it doesn't seem to carry a lot of weight when you just look historically at these elections. I think he did this because he is a Democrat, the sitting president. And if Bernie Sanders had become the presumptive Democratic nominee, I think he would have done the same thing for him as he's done for her.
But does it help her to have him on the campaign trail with her?
I honestly don't think so, because I think that the people that support President Obama pretty much are already in the Hillary camp, and for those that are undecided or are in the Bernie camp, that's going to change as soon as Senator Sanders decides to get out.
I guess your problem, Deneen, was that he said one of the things he liked about her was her judgment. Is that what bothers you about this?
He said she's more qualified. I mean, that's outrageous. Benghazi, the emails, the Clinton Foundation, there's a long list. But listen, I think he is more concerned about his so-called legacy. He is concerned about fundamentally transforming America. He wants a Democrat in that position because a Trump presidency would undo a lot of President Obama's policies that have failed our country.
But he still had a problem because Sanders went in there, Leslie, this morning and met with President Obama. A lot of people thought when he came out to the microphones he was going to say, okay, I'm giving up this whole race that I've been doing for the last couple of years and I'm going to endorse Hillary Clinton. He didn't do that. Was that a problem for President Obama?
No, because I didn't think he was going to do that. And to your point, have we ever seen a Republican back a Democrat, or a Democrat back a Republican, or they're running for president? Please, he's not going to come out and back Trump. But I think what he did probably is encourage Senator Sanders, who we know has run out of money, half the staff's being laid off this week. You got to put this to bed before the end of July. However, Senator Sanders is bent on waiting until that convention in Pennsylvania. He has said this is a revolution. He has a point to make. He wants to make a change with the Democratic platform going forward, especially with regard to superdelegates.
Just calling your attention to the screen right now, we're still looking at Josh Earnest. If he says anything else, we'll bring that to you. But at the same time, we have Senator Harry Reid there after he has met now with Bernie Sanders. It's a busy day for Bernie Sanders on Capitol Hill because he's going to meet with Chuck Schumer, and then he's going to meet about an hour from now with Vice President Joe Biden as well. Ladies, I have to draw your attention to Twitter accounts of real Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton because Donald Trump fired this off about Hillary Clinton after the endorsement from President Obama. Yeah, I'm having a hard time reading it, but basically he says that Obama just endorsed crooked Hillary Clinton. Nobody wants 4 more years of that. Well, then Hillary Clinton responded and said, delete your account. Now, it may have been her advisors who did this because she usually signs her own tweets with an H. But still, the message is coming from Hillary Clinton's camp, delete the account. Deneen, is this what we're going to see now moving forward to November?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more infighting. But again, a Hillary presidency will be a continuation of President Obama's failed policies. Our unemployment numbers are abysmal. The GDP, it only grew 0.8%. This quarter has not been over 3% under his presidency.
Right.
So our economy is really looking
unemployment's 4.7, but the argument on the Republican side is that there are 10 million people who have stopped looking for jobs, so the real unemployment rate would be higher. Leslie, is this what we're going to see, though, for the next couple of months until November? This huge, I mean, it's going to be a huge war between Trump and Clinton, right? And he's given a speech on Monday where he's going to go after them.
No surprise. I mean, if we looked at the way Donald Trump has run his campaign, if you will, prior to him attacking Hillary, you knew this was coming. She knew this was coming. I think there's a bit of baiting here with that response, delete
Why?
your account. It reminds me of the movie A Few Good Men, right? When they push and push and push Jack Nicholson on the stand. And I think they may be pushing Donald Trump and pushing some buttons and seeing his reaction, because he's pretty hot-headed.
Well, I think it's only going to escalate from here on. And again, we're going to see all this infighting that's gone on between the two candidates. And again, I don't think this is a good move in terms of President Obama endorsing her, because she's under FBI investigation.
So yesterday, there was an appearance by President Obama on Jimmy Fallon's show, and he was asked specifically about the economy. And I think we have that to play now, and I want to get your reaction after this. It's coming.
Do you think the Republicans are happy with their choice?
We are, but I don't know how they're feeling. The truth is, actually, I am worried about the Republican Party. There are wonderful Republicans out in the country who want what's best for the country and may disagree with me on some things, but are good, decent people. But what's happened in that party, culminating in this current nomination, I think is not actually good for the country as a whole.
All right, so it wasn't about the economy. It was that President Obama's worried about the Republican Party. Really? You know what I would have loved to have seen there, Leslie? Was Trump sitting next to Obama to respond to that.
Yeah, but they're not, that would be a debate, I think. What would Trump say? Somebody would have to pay him or give a charity a lot of money to do that. And President Obama's not running, although that would have been good. I definitely would have.
President Obama feels he's worried about the Republican Party?
Well, no, he's being facetious, a little tongue-in-cheek there and joking around. But there is worry in the Republican Party. I mean, when you have people like the Koch brothers who aren't writing a check, when you have people saying on the fundraising campaign that after the comments about the Hispanic judge, they're having some trouble getting big GOP donors to write checks, that is an issue.
Okay, got to interrupt because Josh Earnest now getting a question about Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That may be something that Bernie Sanders may want her gone. Here's his answer.
Can take some credit for that. She should. So the president made clear that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has always had his back, and he's going to have hers. And the president announced his support for her reelection campaign, and he certainly is appreciative of all the important work that she has done at the DNC.
Was there ever any point where the president ever considered endorsing anyone other than Hillary Clinton?
As I alluded to Tolu, I'm not aware that the president was ever changed his mind in the course of the Democratic primary.
You mentioned earlier that President Obama carried Wisconsin twice in a row. Why shouldn't we interpret the president's decision to campaign there with Hillary Clinton as his first outing as a sign of weakness on the part of the Democratic ticket, since they're going to be campaigning in a state where, by all accounts, they should easily be able to retain that state? Well,
the president had to compete for Wisconsin both in 2008 and 2012. Those were hard-fought elections, but both times he came out on top. So I would anticipate a similar outcome in 2016.
Two more things really quickly. You just stated at the podium just now that you believe that there's a very strong case to be made for the president's economic stewardship over the course of the last 7.5 years. Senator Sanders, in his statement in the
All right, our own James DeRozan getting some questions in there to Josh Earnest as well. Let's get a quick reaction from Deneen and Leslie here. I did think it was interesting that the president recorded this message and did not come out and actually say it publicly. Does it matter at all, Leslie?
No. No, I think he knew he was doing it. At the end of Tuesday, there would be a decision numerically, and I think that's why he taped it at that time.
To James' question about Wisconsin, it was a good one. I mean, Wisconsin is going to be in play. Obama won it twice, but Wisconsin would be in play for Trump.
Yeah, there are a number of states that are now in play versus the last election, so it should be interesting.
All right, Deneen and Leslie, thank you very much.